What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys another video. Now, I do apologize. It has been a while. My allergies have been kicking my butt, like badly. Um, it's springtime here in Alaska, which means there's a lot of rain, sunshine, and wind. So there's dust and everything being kicked off all over the place. So this video is going to be about Chris Murphy, the Democratic senator. He is going to be talking about gun control. He's going to be talking about immigration reform, debt defaults, and a few other things. With this video, we're going to talk about the whole immigration and debt. Next video will be about. Sorry, I do apologize. See? Oh, my allergies. Oh, okay. Well, let's get into this.
Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Senator Murphy, welcome back to the press. Yeah, thanks for having me. So this Title 42 issue. Look, this is the fingerprints of all of Congress on it. This is the fingerprints of two presidential administrations. So, what could be done right now?
So, by the way, this is MSNBC, Meet the Press. So, they are going to be. Oh, god dang it. I do apologize. Whew. I know it's being a butthole. But, anyways, we know they are not biased whatsoever. They have an agenda, and their agenda is talk good about Democrats and talk bad about Republicans no matter what.
That would give you confidence that the administration can handle this.
So Title 42 is required to be lifted by law, right? Title 42 allows you during a pandemic to stop individuals from presenting at the border and applying for asylum. And now that the pandemic is over, the president doesn't have discretion.
So what wars are these people running from? Because, see, when you're seeking asylum, right, you can't just seek asylum because your country is crap and, the economy there is crap and everything else. When it comes to seeking asylum, your life has to be at risk of being where you currently are. So, like, let's say you're in the Sudan and, you have information that the Sudanese don't want, you to give to a particular group of people. So, you're now seeking asylum in America by the American government, and you set forth the reasoning on why you're seeking asylum. Same thing that can be done for Iraq, Afghanistan, Chile, any country in the world. They can sit there and seek asylum here in our country, right? So, Title 42 was strictly done to stop people from trying to flood over here because, of course, Democrats want them to flood over here. They want them to. They legit, like, there was a YouTube news source group, right? Not mainstream media, not anything like that at all, who showed up to the border. They recorded Border Patrol agents literally in the middle of the night getting illegals onto buses and then shipping them through a canyon, a discreet little canyon, so they can get them to other locations in the United States. Don't believe me? Go to Louder with Crowder. His bits and all that he did. He literally did one on there not that long ago. It was like yesterday or the day before. So go check that out if you legit don't think that that's what's going on. No, that's what's going on. Several other YouTubers have actually put that out there because mainstream media ain't fucking talking about it. There's a lot of shit mainstream media won't talk about, and it's really bad. It's really bad.
To keep Title 42 in place. So for all these Republicans who are complaining that the president acts outside of his authority, in this case, they seemingly want him to violate the law and turn people around at the border. The president has not been sitting on his hands like Republicans.
So, who do you think's coming across the border? Do you think it's women and children who are seeking asylum because the cartels are so bad? And if that's the case, right, why hasn't our president talked to the Mexican president about fixing said problem so that the Hispanics don't have to run here for asylum, right? But guess what? is not just women and children who are actually, coming across the border. For the most part, it's children who are coming alone, boys and girls, and there's 85,000 that are missing in our country. 85,000 missing children in our country thanks to Joe Biden, the Democrats. Now, they want to sit there and say, oh, both administrations have hands on this. Both administrations did badly. There's no good way of handling people flooding into your country illegally. Now, you don't see anyone talking about how Korea handles their borders, right? Whether you are trying to go into Southern or Northern Korea or leaving Southern or Northern Korea, if you cross their border illegally, they don't care what you are. Boy, girl, man, woman, child, they do not care. They shoot you. But you don't hear them talking about how they protect their borders or how every other country protects their borders, protects their lands. If you go to Afghanistan or Iraq or most other places and you're a Christian, do you think they're nice to you? No, they will kill you. We are one of the nicest countries in the world. And it's that kindness that both is a good thing and a bad thing for our country. And we need to literally stop being the grandma who spoils all the grandkids. That's what's going on right now. Okay? We need to be the dad with the ruler in hand getting ready to whoop ass because our children are acting up. Children. He's a child. He's the child I'm referring to. He needs an ass whooping. Okay? That's what I'm referring to.
Would allege the president has been actively engaged in trying to manage this crisis. He has negotiated important agreements with Mexico.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Oh, hell no, he hasn't. The president has done nothing. You can go ahead and say, oh, he sent some soldiers down there to the border. Yes. Want to know what those soldiers are doing? Matter of fact, actually, 2 soldiers got in a heated debate with an ex-soldier who, what had a very good firm stance on, hey, you were sent here to aid the governor. You're supposed to be doing what the governor says, not what the president says. The governor, Abbott, told you to help these people transition over the border, meaning help them over safely, but make sure they're getting back across the border, not getting put into buses and then these buses going into border towns and cities along the way. You know what I mean? Come on. Come on.
So that Mexico takes more of these migrants. He has surged thousands of troops and asylum officials and border patrol to the border to handle this emergency.
He didn't do that.
In place a really tough new rule. Some, frankly, say
the governors and senators of Texas and Arizona have done that. And New Mexico. They have done that. Not Biden. Biden did send some troops. He did do that. Yes. He sent some troops. Some. But the majority of the troops that showed up through the request of the Republican senators and Democrats of those border towns, those cities, those states. Because they are tired of hearing their constituents talk about how disrespectful, how rude, and not only that, how destructive a lot of these illegal immigrants are being when it comes to coming into our country. It's getting bad.
It goes beyond his authority to say to migrants, if you don't apply for asylum before you get to the United States, we're going to turn you right back around. Now, that doesn't mean that you aren't still going to have a lot of...
That was a funny rule that they put out there. And they literally just did this. Now, the question is, how are any of these migrants going to know this rule? Right? Because they, for the most part, can't even get the app that's supposed to help them seek asylum to work. Not only that, with the fact that they actually have Border Patrol and the military that are down there on standing orders of get them on buses. Yeah, I don't think so. And this is where the American people need to literally stand up and tell our president, he needs to step the fuck down. It's time for him to step down. He's not doing his job. Him and the rest of those Democrats and some Republicans need to be removed from office because they're not doing their job.
People showing up at the border, because that's just a consequence of having 2 years in which males, single adults, couldn't apply for asylum.
And yet, when you look at all those border areas, right, all the asylum seekers and all that, why is it majority of them are young males between the ages of 16 to 30 some odd years old? They're all the perfect age for fighting, for being soldiers. Now, the thing is, they have arrested several people who are on the terror watch list from overseas. Okay? They've arrested several Chinese immigrants from coming over the southern border. How is it people from Iraq and China are still coming across our border and this isn't waking anyone up to the border crisis? This is bad. This is why we need to shut our borders down completely. Stop letting people in for the next 10 years. We need to fix our infrastructure here in our country. We need to take care of our people here in our country. Because he's going to start talking about something else here soon.
But it's just simply not true that the president hasn't done enough to try to...
He hasn't done enough.
I understand what you're saying about the preparation for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But politically, other than introducing a bill on day one, he never talked about it. He didn't lean his shoulder in. Build Back Better was the focus. Everything else was the focus. And look, the Republicans have dirtier hands on immigration.
They have dirtier hands. Really, sir? Really, this man here says the Republicans have dirtier hands when it comes to border crisis. Really, I don't see, and I have never seen in any reports back when Republicans had control of 85,000 missing kids in this country. There was none. Because if that would have been a case, if that would have actually happened, the Democrats would have blasted it all over the place. It would have been all over the news. And anyone who watches the news, like Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, all that stupid lying ass bullshit, I mean all of them lie, then it would have been on there. All you heard was, oh, Trump's administration separating kids from their parents. Most of those kids, those parents weren't their fucking parents. And now it's worse under the Biden Democratic administration because they are literally having children come unaccompanied by themselves. And now, because of that, there's 85,000 missing kids in our country that could be doing all sorts of shit. Are you kidding me?
Democrats don't have clean hands on this either.
Well,
See,
Republicans have had multiple opportunities to come to the table and pass immigration reform.
Actually, there was a bill that literally was to strengthen and protect our borders. It was supposed to strengthen the asylum seeking laws, meaning you actually have to have proof on why you're seeking asylum, because they kind of got rid of that with the whole 2020 bullshit and everything. Since 2016, it's been easier to seek asylum in our country than it ever has been.
Problem at the border. And my belief is that while you have a small group of Republicans who legitimately want to engage, the majority of that party delights at chaos at the border. You saw some of my colleagues on Tuesday, as soon as votes were done, rush down to the border to take smiling photographs with the Border Patrol.
See, they're going to fault the people who actually went down there, who are actually showing support to the Border Patrol and any other soldiers and everything who are actually down there. They're going to fault them for actually, saying, hey, we're here to help. What do you need? President do that. Vice President didn't do that. No Democrats did that. It was all Republicans. But yet they're going to go, hey, look, they're only doing it to, take pictures. Which, hey, could be the truth. They are governors and senators. So, yes, a part of it is to look good to the people. But at the same time, does it look worse if you're sitting in your White House doing absolutely nothing and going on vacations when majority of the country's fucking suffering? Come on now.
Essentially celebrating the fact that there was chaos because they believe that there's political gain to be had. So I think Americans know that it's Republicans, not Democrats, that have been sitting on the outside when it comes to.
You're right, sir. Americans do know, and they're very slowly waking up. That's why a lot of the Democratic constituents are very, very reluctantly going over from being Democrat to Republican. In my opinion, if you truly like it, see, I'm not Republican. Okay, I am pretty conservative, but see, I more am an American. That's the way I am. I'm an American. I am for this country and all the people of this country. And I do mean all the people. I don't care your color. I don't care your religious background. I don't care whether you call yourself he, her, zim, zay, hurrah, whatever. I don't care. If you love this country and you're a patriot and you love how this country allows you to have a voice and share your voice, whether it is wrong or right, you're the kind of person I want here. If you want to make sure that this country is better and gets better and better and better for the people who live here, and we allow more and more people to come here to better our country, because that's the one thing most other countries don't do, which is why we are the best. I am for that. That is what I am. I'm not, right or left. I guess you would say I'm more of like dead center. But then at the same time, because of certain views, most people would say I'm right leaning. Because I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, all of that. All of it. I mean, come on now. Most people would look at me and go, "You're conservative? How are you conservative when you're pagan?" Because I believe in rules. I believe in laws and structure and stuff like that. Come on. Come on.
Fixing our broken immigration system.
Are you
Here's how you fix it. Close the border completely for 10 years. Anyone who actually does come into this country, right? Anyone who does come into this country, it should be because either the cartels are directly threatening you, and this is from Mexico, right? If cartels or ISIS or anything or anyone is threatening your life because you have information or some other kind of thing like that, okay, you can seek asylum. If there's a huge old crazy war going on in your home, right, and you no longer have leadership, okay, you can seek asylum. But the droves of Hispanics, Chinese, and everything else that are coming across our border, no. Stop letting them come over here. And it won't stop until it literally stops. No more people crossing, no more border crossings, period. Anyone who is apprehended is directly sent back to where they came from. So, if you're coming from the southern border, you're getting sent back to Mexico, whether you're Mexican or not. That would fix the border crisis.
Which actually you are too, though not in as purple of a state as others. Would you be reluctantly supportive of that if you thought it was a tool they needed?
I'm not, because that just pushes the problem down the line, right? That just gives you 1 or 2 more years of individuals being denied entry. Whenever Title 42 is lifted, you're going to have this temporary problem of massive numbers of new people arriving at the border. And by the way, Republicans...
Not if we treat our borders like every other country treats their borders. Closed. If you're coming in here, you're having a reason on why you're coming here.
Have been castigating the president for not lifting COVID restrictions fast enough. The only COVID restriction Republicans seem to want to keep in place is the one that keeps people that don't look like them from coming into the United States.
See, there's the racist thing right there. There's the racist poke. They're like, oh, hey, look, see, Republicans are racist. They don't want you here because you're brown. No. We don't want people here who aren't going to literally give into the system, because right now the system is failing. We don't have enough people working, okay? Because Biden and his Democrats have crippled people to the point to where they told all these blue, green haired people, oh, hey, it's totally okay for you to stay at home and, collect money, right? Now, most of these people would rather work from home, but there's not enough work from home jobs. And now, if you add in some of these other locations, Democratic run, are losing jobs when it comes to, I don't know, shopping stores like Walmart, Target, Walgreens, shutting their doors and moving to other locations because it's not safe enough. Hence on why you literally have the lack of jobs and why there's so many places across the country that literally have help wanted signs in their windows. And because depending on how much a company makes, they are also taxed more with how many more people they have. So if people like him, this evil piece of crap, get what they want, which is tax conglomerates exuberantly, they're gonna be forced to fire people. It's gonna happen. Or they're gonna be forced to close whole stores just to keep certain doors open and certain people paid. And those places are going to be only stores and locations that are actually making money and not losing money. But the problem with that is any place that is run by Democrats, a city, town, or state, it bleeds money. Because they sit there and go, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give drug addicts free money. We're going to give gang members free money. We're going to give everyone who doesn't follow the rules or follow the law free money. All the taxpayers, nah, y'all can't buy houses. No, guess what? Because you pay taxes and because you have a good paying job, guess what? We're going to tax you more. That's what the Democrats want. That's their goal.
Argument hasn't worked to get Republicans to the table because you can our inflation problem. It's you can make one case on the free money issue with the Fed. You can make some case there. The real issue is we have a labor shortage.
See, if our government wasn't sending billions and billions of dollars over to Ukraine, a lot of that money they could have used on our infrastructure. A lot of that money they could have used to bail out small businesses. A lot of that money they could have used in certain sections, in certain cities, in our country, in our states. But they didn't. Instead, they're perpetuating our tax dollars for a war that we're not even technically a part of, but we're a part of. Are you kidding me? Come on.
And it's having an issue on wages.
Wages.
Is, our economic problem. Yet it has no impact.
So, hey, sir, when a company is taxed per employee, right, and they're only making so much, do you think that company is going to be able to raise wages for people who live there and work there? No. They will not. So, right now, with how everything's going, you can only blame the Democrats because the Democrats shut down oil production in Alaska, which killed a lot of jobs. Hurt Alaska big time. They shut oil production down in several other key states like Texas and California and a few other places. Okay, which killed jobs, destroyed economies. They did that. Okay, and then they started with the whole, oh hey, guess what? If you don't have the plug, the shot, the whatever you want to call it, the non-working vaccine, if you don't have that, guess what? You can't work. If you don't get the booster, you can't work, which then killed jobs across the board, whether it be flight attendants, pilots, whether it be EMS workers, whether it be medical professionals, whether it be anyone across the country. People were forced to leave their jobs because they didn't want to get a vaccine that was not tested yet, which also now been proven to have been a bad vaccine. So anyone who didn't get it is lucky enough not to have fucked up DNA.
my tough words for how Republicans approach this issue. I think there is still an opportunity.
Once again,
at least in the
Republicans'
Senate,
fault.
for
Yeah.
bipartisan immigration reform.
But yet, once again, I have to pause it. So it's Republicans' fault on why there's lack of jobs, but yet it wasn't the Republicans who were pushing the jab. It wasn't Republicans who were forcing people to get shots to go to work. And before you say anything, oh, well, Trump's the one who pushed the vaccine. Yep, he did. Oh, yeah, he did, which was a mistake. It was a mistake. And anyone, anywhere knows. It's like, I know plenty of people, Hodgkins, they didn't get that fucking shit, and they like Trump. Huh. Well, guess what? I didn't get it, and I liked a lot of shit Trump did. So, all it takes is to be a free thinker. Be your own person. Don't sit there and go, oh, hey, my favorite movie star got the shot, so I'll get the shot. You know what I mean?
Or maybe not the size of the bill in 2013, but I do think there are a group of Republicans in the Senate who recognize that we have this massive labor shortage everywhere in the country. You see help wanted signs, and that there is an ability to help the American economy by letting more people into the country legally. So I wouldn't be surprised.
See, right there. He said the quiet part out loud. We'll let people come in. They'll take the jobs of all the people who don't want to work. They'll accept anything we give them, whether it be $5 or $10, because they're used to getting nothing over there in Mexico. Right? Because living over in Mexico is definitely a lot harder than it is here. So any Mexican who's coming from over there is going to gladly take nickel and dime change for working. That right there should wake up America. Now, see, there's going to be no outcome other than the possibility of a revolt. And he actually touches up on it in this video. This guy, the way he talks about it, which will probably be in the next part of the video, but it is very quite interesting.
If you see some discussions begin in the Senate,
They've already talked about it.
Action last week to try to find
some they already talked about it. Ilhan Omar, AOC, Maxine Waters, anyone who was a part of the squad talked about it. They talked about bringing illegals in, but then they're like, oh, well, we should just let them in. We should get rid of, the border. There should be no such thing as illegal immigration. People should be able to freely come here and work if they want. It's like, is there any other country in the world that does that? No? Okay, then. We should not be the first one to do that.
Common ground in immigration.
You think that at a piecemeal direction, it's always going to be piecemeal at this point. The word comprehensive, just throw it away.
Yeah, I think right now you've got to do the pieces that are most urgent. And to me, that's border security, that's asylum reform, and then that's doing something about the Dreamers.
The Dreamers, which have no chance of actually getting here, because the Dreamers are the ones who are coming here legally. Much like some of my relatives who came here legally, worked their ass off to get what they have, and now people are just freely coming across the border and giving more than anyone has ever gotten when it came to coming here, even legally. That is unfair to the people who came here and worked their butts off. From anywhere in the world, it's unfair. Come on. But of course, it's the Democrats, and they know that anyone who's actually came here legally and worked their butt off, most of them are conservative. And it does not matter where they come from, whether it's Cuba, Russia, China, Korea, or anywhere else that is a horrible place that is all about control, the fist around the neck of the people, like Russia, big time, China, big time, South America, big time, Mexico, big time. Yeah, I don't think so.
We are here and need some help.
Debt ceiling, it looks like the White House is now negotiating. Something you didn't want to see. Spending caps are on the table. They're debating between 2 years, 10 years. Are you comfortable with a deal like that? Or do you think if you're going to cut a deal on spending, that maybe tax hikes ought to be a part of this?
Oh, hey, tax hikes.
If you want to get serious about deficit reduction, then you have to put tax increases for billionaires and corporations on the table.
Billionaires and corporations. Who do you think actually hires people in this country? There's not that many small businesses anymore. COVID kind of killed that. But yet now these guys want to tax billionaires and corporations an exuberant amount of money, which then is going to force those corporations to either lower wages or keep wages deadlocked at a specific price, not even caring that, right now the current system is, oh, hey, guess what? What you're making isn't enough to actually pay your bills. And then certain places are forced to cut hours. Come on now. Come on now. Which then is going to force everybody. What they're going to do is going to force every single person who wants to live in this country into a work to live type of job. Meaning, you aren't going to have money. You aren't going to have anything. Anything and everything that's yours isn't yours anymore. It's just given to you by the government, and you have to work just to have it. So, little teeny tiny dinky apartment, little teeny tiny dinky car. No means of any kind of personalization of making something yours. That's all going to go away if they get what they want. That's what they want. They want us to be their slaves, which is why they're flooding our country with people who don't care about making little bits amounts of money.
That's why I'm pretty skeptical that there's going to be an agreement in the next 2 weeks. And what worries me,
Even a punted agreement for 3 months.
well, what worries me is that Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, even Mitch McConnell have said that if we can't get an agreement in the next few weeks, default is off the table. The only leader who says we are going to light the American economy on fire if we can't get an agreement in the next
Wait for
10
it.
to 14 days is Kevin McCarthy. And that is deeply
Once again, laying all the blame on Republicans is not the majority of Republicans' fault. Actually, it's any Republican who's continuously voted to send money over to Ukraine. We're in default because of the mass amounts of spending that our government has done. Our government, and it doesn't matter the name, Republican, Democrat, it does not fucking matter the name. They need to be replaced and removed because they're not doing their job. They're just like, oh, hey, we got some money, hey, let's spend it. Oh, hey, we got a couple $1,000. Here, we'll spend it on this stupid shit. No. It's time for it all to end. These people need to be replaced. These people need to be shown we're the people who run this country. You're there to listen to us and make sure certain things that we want is done. Your job is to protect our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, not rewrite it, which they go into a conversation about that exact thing.
worrying to me because
That will be in the next video,
to
though.
talk about their really unpopular agenda of cuts, but the time to do that is when we're negotiating the budget.
Is would you start invoking the 14th Amendment and start paying the bills now if you were Joe Biden?
See, that's funny, right there, right? Oh, invoke the 14th Amendment and pay the bills, and yet they freely go, oh, hey, look, we're under a debt ceiling. We can't spend any more money. Oh, hey, yeah, let's send like $1.2 billion more dollars over to Ukraine. They recently did that, like not that long ago. I think it was last week sometime. So their whole aspect about money, their whole aspect about like, oh yeah, we can't do that. We can't. They can. They can make as much money as they want. They can do whatever they want. The actual aspect of how much the dollar matters really just comes down to us, the people using and spending the money, right? So why is it they're able to flood other people's economies with our dollar, but yet they'll tax us and everyone else here in our country, right? They'll tax us out of existence, out of house and home. You as a person who has good credit can't even buy a home no more. But you as with shitty credit or no credit at all can get a home. What? Come on now.
In order to essentially launch the legal discussion about the 14th Amendment?
I don't want to give Joe Biden advice, but I think we should do our job. I think that's a precedent.
Really? You should,
to absolve Congress from being adults.
I want to talk about the issue of guns.
And here it is, the issue of guns. That's definitely going to be in the next video. But the fact that he literally like, oh, we need to do our jobs. Oh, really? Then why haven't y'all done your jobs? Why is it everyone in your constituency, or whatever that word would be, all your constituents, right? Why is it they are suffering while you live nice and happy, wearing your fancy nice suits and everything else, right? Why is it people like that can live freely and happily, but yet we, the people who should be living freely and happily, are the ones worried that, oh, we're gonna get mugged walking to our car, we're gonna get kidnapped, murdered, shot up, and no, that's not a talk for gun control. That's more of like, oh, hey, in democratic cities, you can't even fucking defend yourself. In Republican cities, if someone's stupid enough to assault you, at least you can defend yourself. Like, wake up, people. There's a reason why crime is so rampant in democratic run cities, and it's going to get worse if we keep letting them run shit. Like, and that's anyone who isn't strong against, and I do mean this, against crime. But that's it for this video. This was like legit 5 minutes and 55 seconds, and it turned into 36. Holy crap. That's how many times I had to pause it. But anyways, that's it for this video. Catch me for the next one. Later, guys.